alcoholic? Man, yeah, like Liz said, I just graduated on Friday and I'm leaving tomorrow. And I'm going to residential, and I'm pretty excited about it. So it's definitely it's a new chapter, and I'm looking forward to the blessings that are out there in store for myself. Um, I'd just like to thank Nancy for picking me on the last second to come up here, right? Can't tell you. She doesn't tell you ahead of time, so, but it's all good, right? I want to speak from the heart. So, just a little bit about myself. And I had actually had a pretty good childhood growing up. You know, I was one of those kids that actually I had a really good household. Um, my mom and dad were together. I have three sisters and a brother, and I was taken care of very well by my family. You know, my mom had a really good job. My dad ran a business, and I was actually like a spoiled kid. You know, when I was younger, I used to go to Lake Havasu a lot, and I'd be the kid that's riding on the jet ski. And every summer, I spent my birthday out there, and it was pretty neat that I got that experience to go out there with my family. And so I grew up, and myself, I'd go out there and we'd be on jet skis and stuff like that. And it was really fun. I had that kind of experience. My father brought us out there, had a boat, and we had a really good time. And I grew up playing baseball. That was my first love. When I was a young kid, I started playing when I was 4 years old, and I got pretty good really, really, really quickly. I had a father who didn't take no nonsense. He pushed me extremely hard, and I went on to high school. I'm from Wilmington. I went on to Banning High School, and I excelled right away. I was able to make varsity as a freshman, and I was something that was really dear to my heart was to play the game, and that's actually when I got my first taste of alcohol. I was on the baseball field. I was spending a night at a friend's house, and he had like the cool parents, and we had went out to the field that night, and I was 15 years old, and that was the first time that I indulged in alcohol, and I loved it. It was something that, right away I felt myself. I was pretty fearless. I didn't feel anything. I enjoyed it. I was brave, didn't care, and it was something that I could tell right away that I enjoyed. And then, you know, was able to play throughout high school, and one of my goals was to go to the MLB. That was something I worked really hard, and I had a father again who was really, you know, anything less than 100%. It wasn't going to be good enough for him. Like I said, I was really blessed. I had a batting cage and stuff in my backyard, and worked really, really hard. And from there, I was able to get a scholarship out of high school to UC Irvine, and I went there and was able to play baseball right away. And it was really cool, man. It was a really cool experience. Young guy, first time out of the house, getting that experience, getting able to live on my own, and was traveling around the country, and it was pretty cool, to get that experience. But right away, my first priorities, as I noticed, was uh, drinking, partying, baseball, then school, in that order. And right away, man, I started drinking every night, and it was something that got a hold of me really quick. Right away when I was 18, I started blacking out. And that was my first time that I started blacking out. And pretty much from 18 up until 90 days ago, that's pretty much been my story. And it's been a rough one. From there, I was able to play a couple years, and I moved out to Ohio, lived in Cincinnati, played out there again, traveling all over the place, and that kind of amplified my drinking, kind of that rock star lifestyle, and I fell into it, partying all the time, and baseball became secondary for me. And I really enjoyed it. Was able to see a lot of things, but alcohol just it basically consumed my life. You know, I was the kind of guy who never wanted to let the party die. You know, I'm sure a few of us could identify with that. You know, I kept the party going um, all night, every night. Didn't matter if somebody wanted to drink with me or not. I was drinking by myself, and like I said, I blacked out every single night, every single day for 21 years. You know, and it's pretty dark. You know, to be in that position and basically throw everything away. And that's what I did. The disease got a hold of me, and it didn't let go. And it was it's pretty fascinating, you know, how it all transpired. But that's basically my story. And then when I got out of school, graduated, I started coaching right away. Started coaching collegiate guys, and it just continued. And for me, it just never stopped. You know, anything that I did, if I worked, you know, I would drink before work. I would drink during work. And on my last 10-minute break, you know, I would make sure I hit the liquor store, and I drank on the way home. Drinking and driving, everything you could think of when it comes to drinking, you know, I did it. And, you know, I was constantly putting myself and everybody in danger. I have a son right now, he's 14 years old, but basically his entire life, you know, he saw me drink, you know, and something that, you know, it's really difficult for me to talk about. But basically his entire life, that's all he's seen. And, you know, started coaching. I was coaching for a while. I was coaching baseball, and then the same thing. I was drinking between games, after games. Kind of fell into the lifestyle, and basically it was everything, man. I was a mobile bar. You know, I had alcohol in my backpack all the time, alcohol behind the back seat of my car, and that's just kind of how I rolled. And as I was coaching, I kept continuing to coach, and basically didn't stop. And one of the last runs that I had out there was I ended up crashing some cars, crashing some vehicles, ended up in jail. And by the grace of God, I didn't get more of a record. You know, that's just pure luck. And, you know, that's just kind of how it unfolded. And then by the end, I was basically living in my car. And, you know, luckily I had a cousin who kept coming up to my car. I was living in a Planet Fitness Plaza over here, and he had come up to my car every single week. He's like, "Dude, you need to get in treatment, man." He's like, "You need to get help." And it's something that I didn't want. I was kind of avoiding them, and he kept coming up to me every day. He would show up, and he would tell me that I need to get involved in treatment. And then finally, one of the last days, I was sitting in my car, and he was like, "Man, is this how you want to live, bro, the rest of your life? Is this what you want to do? Is this what you want to show your son?" And basically threw the number to Fred Brown, slid it inside the window, and he was like, "Dude, you better call this number, man." And that's basically what happened. You know, I called the number, and got a hold of Liz and spoke to her, and she was like, "Well, come in tomorrow, Thursday, at 8 a.m." And basically that's what I did. I was asking her a bunch of questions and stuff, and she was giving me a little bit of the lowdown. But that's basically, you know, how it transpired. And 90 days ago, if I were to tell you I'd be up here speaking, you know, I'd have probably told you you're crazy, you know. And it's really a blessing how it all unfolded. I got here, man, and I was tore up. You know, I was hopeless. I felt useless. I felt worthless. Anything with less. That's kind of how I felt. And, you know, I got here. I started, you know, immersing myself in the groups. Started, you know, meeting different people. Started talking to different staff. And, you know, at first I hated it. You know, I didn't like it. I wasn't comfortable. I would sit on that front porch every day, and I would look at that. I would look at that gate, and I felt like it was talking to me. I felt like it was telling me, "Man, come on, you got this. Just go right outside that gate, and you know, go get a drink." And that's how I felt. I remember sometimes that gate would be open and I'd have to get up and I'd have to go shut that gate because I felt like it was talking to me. Every single day I wanted to run, and still to this day, I have my cravings. I still think about it, but to think where I came from 90 days ago, it's a heck of a lot better. And today I have hope. Seeing a lot of the speakers that come up here, attending a lot of the meetings, I feel like I have some hope. I feel like there's hope for someone like me because I was in a dark place for a long time. If I sat up here and told all the stories, we'd be here all night, right? But I was in a really dark place, walking around. I was the guy with the paper bag not too long ago catching a tan. That was me, the guy that we see a lot of times when we're on the way to the park and we see those guys sitting on the curb. That was me, not too long ago. And yeah, man, I got hope for my son. Now I get an opportunity to be a better father. I get an opportunity to be a better son, better brother, because I've been a bad example. I've been a bad son. I have a mom and father that's been in recovery for a long time, and it doesn't mean anything until you're ready. It doesn't mean anything until you're ready to do it. They've been pushing me to get sober for a long time, and I didn't want it. I didn't want it. And thank God I was able to see rock bottom, before it got really bad, and check myself into treatment. And for me, I just been praying to God every single night, praying for him to let me feel emotion, let me, just give me some sanity back, because for a long time, man, as soon as I felt anything that was emotional, I started drinking. And I drank until I was blacked out. Every single morning I woke up, I had to retrace the steps. I had to check my bank account. I had to check my texts, check the phone numbers, and was like, damn, man, what the hell did I do last night? Go outside and look at my car. I'd walk around it like 3 times to make sure it wasn't all crashed up and smacked up. And I got tired of living that life, man. And backtrack a little bit, I got into finances after I got into finances. I was in finances for about 10 years and I was doing really well, and I was doing investments and stuff like that, and it was doing really well, man. But I was managing people's money drunk, and I started getting in trouble. I started showing up to the office smelling like alcohol, and before you knew it, they were asking me to leave. I couldn't be in a confined space reeking like alcohol all the time. So, it was something that I loved. It was something that I enjoyed, but I couldn't maintain it. And I'm just happy to be here, man. I'm someone who thinks that I know it all. I'm someone who has a big ego. I'm someone who has a lot of pride, and I've been able to check that, man, work on myself and get better every single day. Through prayer and having a higher power. I believe in God. I believe in faith. I believe in something that I can't see. And I'm just hopeful. I'm hopeful and I'm grateful, man. And I'm blessed to be here today. Thank God my cousin kept bugging me and kept knocking on that window and kept showing up. Waking up in a car every day with the perimeter of my car smelling like pee. It wasn't fun. Eating cans of tuna out of the back of my car. Walking around just lost. And I just hope some people get some hope, and people around here, they have good jobs and they're able to hold good relationships. I just want to be happy. I just want to be happy one day, and that's my goal. Happy is not something that you find. Happiness is not something you find. It's something that you create. And I'm looking to create it. It's a skill. It's not easy. I have my moments here and there, but at the end of the day, man, I've been in a dark depression for a long time. And then being able to work these steps a little bit and turn my life and my will over to God has really helped me out, because my way, it doesn't work. Doing it my way, it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. I know where I end up every single time. I tried to white knuckle, man, for 4.5 months at the beginning of this year. I tried to white knuckle it, and I was sober. And I wasn't getting any help. I wasn't getting any treatment. And I was getting more sober. I was getting a day sober every day, but I was getting more miserable every day. And for me, it was either pick up a gun and blow my brains out, or pick up the bottle, and I chose to relapse and pick up the bottle. You know, and that's how serious it was. My skin was crawling, man. Like I was crawling. You know, I needed help. I needed to get into something, you know, because I can't do this on my own. I can't. You know, with the fellowship around here, man, it's really, it's helped me, you know, being in these groups, being in these meetings, being able to talk about it, getting it out of my system. You know, it's really helped me, you know, because I can't do this on my own. If I were to walk away right now, I know where I'd be. I'd be back, you know, blowing a lot of money, getting drunk, being in the wrong places. And, you know, that's not the life I want to live. I want to be a good example for my son. I squandered 21 years. When I tell you I blacked out for 21 years, no days off, no vacations, that's no BS. You know, and, you know, to think back, man, how much time that you waste, you know, and you know, I'm lucky I cashed in when I did, because today's the youngest I'm going to be for the rest of my life. You know, and just turning my will and my life over to God has really helped out, man. I encourage you guys to pray. I encourage you guys to get some sort of higher power. And, you know, I'm just grateful for the staff here, man. They embrace you. They actually care about you. You know, I'm a little bit nervous going out there, man, going out there to RBH, walking the streets. I know this area very well. And, you know, I got to be able to, you know, walk straight, keep my feet moving in the right direction, show up to meetings. Because when I start slacking, I'll start slacking. You know, and if all it takes is for me to drink one beer and you'll never see me again. You know what I mean? And I know that, you know, that saying that one is too many, 1,000 never enough, man, I could identify with that, man, like crazy. You know, and just for the newcomers, man, stick around. You know, there's going to be days you don't want to be here. Believe me, I felt that I felt that for the first month. I didn't want to be here. Time went by slow, you know, but when you get in the routine, things go by a lot faster. But today I have hope, you know, and that's the biggest thing. Hopefully one day, you know, I look back on this, man, and you know, and I'll be happy, you know, that I was here in Fred Brown, because it's a tremendous place. And I thank everybody. My name's Elliot and I'm an alcoholic.